Are we making any progress, Mr. Puffett?
This chimney, Mr. Bunter, is suck.
So we inferred.
That's what it is. The road suck. If it weren't for the suck, this chimney is quite beautiful. No chimney can draw if it's full of corroded suck like this here chimney is. You can't ask it.
I don't ask it. I ask you to get it clear. We should be glad to know why Mr. Noakes couldn't have had the chimney swept before we came.
Ah!
To find the house upside down and the chimney smoking like volcanoes is not an auspicious commencement to a honeymoon.
Oh, it's a honeymoon, is it?
It is, Mr. Puffett. We were only married yesterday.
Who was married?
Lord Peter Wimsey and Lady Peter.
Oh, Lord Peter Wimsey was married. Now, from the way you were putting it, I thought you were the happy bridegroom.
I am wedded to my service, Mr. Puffett, and I may say it is highly disagreeable to the feelings of a gentleman's personal man when his gentleman is smoked out on his wedding night. I assure you, Mr. Puffett, there wasn't a place fit to sit down in.
I believe you.
We were compelled to retire to bed.
Oh, well, I've known worse things happen to honeymoon couples.
Do you see any prospect of getting that chimney clear?
I take it to you just to take a look at this here corroded suck. How rock this soot is, corroded hard.
But Mr. Noakes had been living here himself, hadn't he? Didn't he complain of the chimneys? No one's coming in here yet, Mrs. Ruddle.
Morning, Mr. Puffett. How's Ginny?
Not bad, considering. Complaints, Mr. Bunter? Complaining is one thing, sweeping is another. Complaints cost nothing. I don't think there's a man in Paddling who's ever had his brushes up this here chimney.
That's right. Half the time, Mr. Noakes won't have no fire. Just sits in front of that nasty, stinking old stove.
Only wish someone could inform us where this gentleman got to.
I'm sure I can't tell you, Mr. Bunter, without he's over at Broxford. When I come up last Thursday morning to do for him, same as usual, and finds the house shut up, I says, there, if he ain't gone over to Broxford without telling me, and him owing me for the week too, what's more?
You don't say, Mrs. Ruddle.
And not the first time, either.
Does he often go over to Broxford?
He's got his business over there. Wireless.
And he has a room over the shop. Often away nights, he is.
Does he never leave you the key when he goes?
Not him. Afraid I'll pinch something, I suppose. Nobody can't get in. Without, they go over to Miss Twitterton's. That's his niece over at Padford. And gets the other key from her. Same as you did.
He's a careful man, Mr. Noakes. Maybe he's got a reason to.
And what might you mean by that insinuendo, Mr. Puffett?
Nothing, Ma, but he never found that there no case, did he?
Sure it ain't nothing to do with me if he did or if he didn't.
Who said it did? Either way, that's the same day that he got locks put up on his windows and doors. He's careful, and what you might call precise.
Didn't he tell you that he'd sold the house and that we should be coming down?
Not a word, Mr. Bunter, he didn't. You could have knocked me down the feather when he come around last night. And the poor lady and gentleman, on their honeymoon too. It was a mercy I had the clean sheets aired and ready. Such a nice lady. And his lordship, such a lovely gentleman. They must have been prepared put about. Oh, never mind. We'll soon have everything straight for the happy pair.
Oh, here comes her ladyship. You'd better get on with the washing up.
That's right. Taking their victuals well. Ah, bless their dear hearts. I love to see a young couple eat hearty.
Oh, and the lamps, Mr. Ruddle. They all need new wicks.
He never uses them nowadays. Candles.
So we discovered last night. Well, Mr. Puffett, that chimney's got to be cleared.
I ask you, Mr. Bunter, is it fair to a man or his rods?
They're quite well kept anyway. Oh, Bunter, you've got hold of the suite. How splendid.
Yes, my lady. I went up early and ascertained that Mr. Puffett would be willing to oblige.
How very kind of you, Mr. Puffett. We had a dreadful time with it last night.
Always wrong to oblige a lady. The sweeping isn't rightly my job, except to oblige. Being in the business trade for 35 years, I do say I know a good bit about chimneys.
I'm sure you know all about them.
Well, milady, if anybody can get the sun out of this here chimney, I make bold to say I can. It's the power I put behind it.
As I understand it from Mr. Puffett, my lady, there's no actual structural defect in the step. It's the pot that's choked.
Oh. I'm willing to try Damn the dog brush. Maybe with that power behind it, we can get the rod to it. Not, then we'll have to fetch the ladders.
Heavens, Mr. Puffett, not a major operation.
No, my lady. Access by the roof.
Peter!
Hello?
If you'll excuse me, my lady, I think Mrs. Ruddle may require a little direction.
All right, Bunter. Oh, and Bunter, just see if you can find me a vase for us.
Yes, my lady.
Peter, darling, the sweep's come.
Oh, fetch a stay, I'm coming, my sweep. Oh, Harriet dear, how long have I waited to hear those exquisite words? Peter, darling, the sweep's come. We are married, by God, we are married. And the sweep has come. And I said, no, it is a thunderstorm, an earthquake, or at most a destitute cow dying by inches in the chimney. It could not possibly be a sweep. I crushed down my rising hopes. Bunter always smuggles him in for fear of inconveniencing my lordship.
Your lordship seems to take wonderfully well to this primitive country life.
Not so primitive neither, as Mrs. Ruddle so delicately explained. Down a little stair, everything is modern.
Yes, and we've got a gigantic cistern which lives in a cupboard all to itself. You open the door, fall down 2 steps, bump your head, and bring up with your chin on the ballcock.
My God, woman, you haven't put the ballcock out of order. Do you realize that country life is entirely conditioned by the ballcock in the cistern and the kitchen boiler?
I do, but I didn't think you would.
Harriet, my dear, what I do not know about insanitary plumbing isn't worth knowing. In the old shack in the 90s, we had 150 bedrooms, perpetual house parties, every single drop of water pumped by hand, 2 bathrooms, and all the rest kip baths. Similar, in fact, to the one I just partook of.
You don't mean to say Bunter gave you a hip bath? It's gross favoritism. He fobbed me off with one of those shallow saucers.
Oh, darling, oh, darling. All this makes me feel 20 years younger. So I'd like to have a word with Mr. Nukes when I get a hand of him.
I always remember he was a horrid, stingy, mean old man. And Peter, how he has spoiled this lovely room. It used to be so pretty with the old farmhouse furniture. Oh, it belonged to the sweetest Darby and Joan couple, and when we came to see them, they gave us strawberries and seedy cake.
So that settles that something. Bunter!
And the funny old clock. But just look at that mirror. And is this a drain pipe?
Bunter, I was wondering where I might find my tobacco pouch.
The smoking requisites, my lord, are temporarily deposited in the whatnot.
What?
Not my lord.
Not what?
In here, my lord.
You're right, Bunter, definitely not. Let's have breakfast.
Oh, must we maintain 5 aspidistras?
Hush! Never disrespect the aspidistra. Something awful will come down the chimney and get you. Boom! Look at that bristling horror over the radio.
Some people would pay pounds for a fine cactus like that.
It must have very little imagination. Makes me wonder if I've shaved. Have I?
Oh, thank goodness we haven't bought his grisly furniture.
Yes. Terrible shame ruining this noble old house with all this muck.
Do you like the house, Peter?
Yes. It's like a beautiful body inhabited by an evil spirit. And I don't just mean the furniture. I've taken a dislike to this absentee Nukes. I fancy he's up to no good, and the house would be glad to be rid of him.
Oh, I'm sure it hates him. I believe he starved and ill-treated and insulted it.
Like God, woman. I'm sure he's all right. Taking awful notes. He's not going to have a fit or anything.
It's the power he puts behind it, or so he says.
Yes, I see. Great strength rings the bell. Excuse me. I say.
Good morning, your lordship. Trust I see you well.
We are in the pink, so to speak. The chimney is not feeling as well as it might. Shortness of wind or something?
No, just corroded silk, like I was saying to your lady.
Such. Would that be in the pot?
Yes, in the pot.
I've heard the term, I've forgotten. Oh, yes. The little twiddly bit at the top, like bottleneck in the bypass. Even a Tudor chimney wants somewhere safe to pot.
That's just it. If we had the timber pot, we'd be all right. Mr. Noakes, he took down some of them and sold them to make sundials.
Sold them for sundials?
Yes, catch penny as I call it. That's him all over. And these fiddling bottom pots that he put on there aren't any good. They're choke tight in the mud. Doesn't matter how he borrows them, kick out the cork.
I see you brought your own corkscrew. That's a thing to give a man for a trust.
Thank you kindly, my lord. When the job's done, I won't say no.
I had no idea maybe sweeping was such a he-man's job. I thought you just put up the brush.
Down came the soot.
It's all according. There's a power difference in side. There's the loose side in the bend. That doesn't hurt. There's a corroded side in the pot, which isn't fair to a man nor his rods.
I regret, my lady, this is all I can discover.
Heavens, Bunter!
Yes, my lady.
Oh,
Mr. Noakes won that at the flower show. You know, my lady, he throws a penny.
He rings, he keeps.
was that what the parson was muttering to you yesterday when I thought you lost the ring?
I only recovered consciousness in the vestry. Well, Mr.
Puffett.
Mr. Puffett, how did you start your honeymoon?
Went to her bed. Me and Miss did.
Why didn't we think of that? There was a top-all murder committed at Herne Bay.
Yes, George Joseph Smith and his first bride in the bath. So appropriate, if you're thinking of trying your hand.
No, darling, that requires a full-size bath. No, we didn't go to Herne Bay. We came here, just in time for dinner.
Miss Twitterton, my lady.
Oh, ma'am. Good morning, Lady Peter. I hope I'm not disturbing you. Good morning, Lord Peter. I had to run over and see how you were getting on. I hope you passed a comfortable night.
Parts of it were excellent.
I always think the bed is the important part. But what is the matter, and what's Mr. Puffett doing here? Don't say the chimney has been smoking again.
There's no call to abuse the chimney. It's nothing but salt.
Oh, I do wish I had come over now. All this, Uncle that always lets me know when he's going away. To think of his selling the house too, and not seeing to anything or telling anybody. It's too dreadful. Are you sure he knew you were coming?
He must have. I mean, we sent him the check on last week, and I wrote him at the same time saying if it wouldn't be inconvenient, we'd like to come down on the next week.
Tuesday?
Yes. And he wrote back to me at the same time saying...
Last Wednesday, a week ago today.
Oh, yes. It'll be quite all right, and if he'd let us have use of furniture, and he'd be there to let us in.
Well, he never lets me know a word about it. Not one word. Oh. That's from Crutchley. She does the garden for Uncle. Uncle may have told him something. Oh, Frank! We can't find Uncle. Can't find him? No, we can't find him, and we can't think what's become of him.
He never said anything to me, Mrs. Tristan.
Was he here when you came last Wednesday?
He was here, all right.
You'd better come in, Crutchley.
Thanks, sir.
I hope you don't mind if I mention it, but I'm sure Frank would be happy to go on doing the garden for you, as he did for Uncle.
I thought he's kept it awfully well. It looked lovely this morning.
Come in, Crutchley. A little unexpected and all that, what?
Oh, well, yes, sir. I see you through the chimney.
Oh, Frank, we can't find Uncle.
Matter of fact, didn't expect to find him here this morning. That's why I came up to the house first.
You mean he told you he'd be here today?
Yes, he said he'd let me have back some money of mine. He got in his wireless business. He said he'd let me have it today.
And he said he'd be here to give it to you.
Yes, my lord. It was a matter of 40 pounds he made me put in his wireless business. I asked him for it last week, but he palavered as usual, saying he didn't keep sums like that in the house, putting me off.
But of course he didn't.
However, I stuck to it as I must have it, and he finally said he'd let me have it Wednesday. That's today.
Do you suppose he had some money coming in?
He said he had some money coming in. Then he let me have it.
All right, well, we...
Must have been the money for the house.
Yes. Well, we'll head over to Broxford and hunt him up presently. In the meantime, we'd like a bit of gardening done, so if you'd continue as usual.
Shall I come Wednesday? Same as usual. 5 shillings, Mr. Nelson, maybe by the day.
And I shall give you the same. Right, oh, and we best have an electric plant put up through here at once. Do you know anything about such things?
Yes, my lord. There's one at the garage where I work.
Very good. We shall have one put up through here presently.
I'm sure Frank will be able to take care of it for you. He knows everything about machinery.
Very good.
Thank you.
Well, I'm sorry, Miss Tristan. We don't seem to be much for her. Though, who's our visitor? Hope to God it's not one of those infernal reporters.
Oh, my dear, it's a vicar. He's come to make a call.
Ah, this is marvelous. I collect figures. If you keep things at this pitch of excitement, I shall go on being married to you. Very well grown specimen, 6'4" thereabouts. Untidy, good gardener, musical, smokes a pipe.
Good gracious, do you know Mr. Goodacre?
Wife does his best on a small stipend. Product of one of our older vintages of learning in 1890 or so. Oxford, I fancy, though not to keep him. And as high in his views as the parish allows him to be.
Hear you. To the best of my knowledge and belief, you are right, but why the strictly limited high church views?
The Roman Bale and Chucker pointed the upwards way. You know my methods, Watson. Though we heard let bell strike 8 to this morning, there was no bell for daily celebration.
Why, it's choir practice today. Oh, it's Wednesday.
As you say, Miss Ridgeon, Wednesdays always is choir practice. Quo semper, quo ubique, quo ab omnibus.
I beg your pardon?
Though you might not think it, I too have bawled Maunder and Garrett down the neck of the blacksmith's daughter singing in the village choir, and have at times proclaimed the spearmen to be scattered amongst the beasts of the people, with a little fancy pointing of my own.
That's not one of the beasts of the people.
Harriet, your honeymoon home is a great success. I am 20 years younger. Give me just the country cottage where the soot of ages falls, and to crown a perfect morning, look, an English vicar calls.
He's thought better of it, and I don't wonder. Miss Twitterton will think we're both quite mad, and Mr. Puffett knows it already.
No, my lady, not mad, just happy. I know the feeling.
As man to man, Puffett, I thank you for those kind and sympathetic words.
The Reverend Simon Goodacre.
I fear my intruding. I understand.
My name's Wimsey, and my wife.
Good morning, Mr. Goodacre. I'm afraid we're all at 6s and 7s.
Good morning, how do you do? Good morning, Miss Twitterton.
Good morning, Mr. Goodacre.
Oxford man, I see.
Balliol.
Magdalene, how do you? Now is it,
Cricket, perhaps?
yes, Cricketan.
Won't you sit down, Mr.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Cricketan.
I fear I'm getting veteran class now.
Something else I feel sure will... Not Lord Peter Wimsey.
An ill-favored title, but my own.
Of course, dear me, not Lord Peter Wimsey, Goodacre, dear me, it's an honor. My wife and I are reading a paper about you the other day. Most interesting about your detective experiences.
Detective?
Oh, my wife's in the same line of business. She writes detective stories.
Hope you haven't come to detect anything in Pagleham.
No, hopefully not. As a matter of fact, we came here with the aim of hopefully passing a peaceful honeymoon.
Indeed. I hope you allow me to say, God bless and make you very happy.
Thank you. We are very happy.
Now I wonder why you chose Pagleham.
My wife grew up around here. She knew the house when she was a child.
I don't suppose you remember me. I'm Harriet Vane.
Little Harriet Vane, oh my dear, I recollect you and your parents very well. So you remember the old place?
I always loved cowboys. I used to come over and have tea with dear old Mr. and Mrs. Bateson when they had it.
Oh, how nice to know you, dear old Miss Bateson. You had a tragedy,
Tragedy?
Not one soul that was an uncle bought the house.
How long do you propose to stay with us, may I ask?
Permanently more or less, off and on, you know.
As a sort of weekend cottage.
Yes, fishing, shooting, all that. As a matter of fact, we've bought the house.
Bought it? Well, this is an unexpected surprise, so I have the unexpected pleasure of welcoming 2 new parishioners. Your uncle's not deserting us, I trust, Miss Twitterton.
Oh, but Mr. Goodacre, you don't understand.
In fact, I brought him a little rock plant for his garden.
You're wrong. It's a plant, not a tobacco pouch.
He's gone away and we can't think what's become of him.
Tishida Nudicalis.
Other pocket, you wait.
I think he may have gone over to Broxford. No.
He prefers a sunny situation.
Cigarette, Padre?
No.
I can't get hold of him.
I'm more of an inveterate pipe smoker.
You win.
And he's left the house all in a bottle and oh dear.
Dear, I'm sorry I missed him. I was just going off my subscription. We're getting aid for the church music fund.
Is the choir still going strong, Mr. Goodacre?
Oh,
Do you still do dear old Butter now?
we've made a great deal of progress. We've advanced to Stanford and C. And last Harvest Festival, we tackled the Hallelujah chorus with great success.
How magnificent!
But we sadly need a new set of bellows. The old ones are patched past mending anymore.
And at the Hallelujah chorus,
Miss Twitterton presides at the organ.
the wind simply came out altogether.
And the rest was silence.
It was dreadful. I was so embarrassed.
Oh, my dear. Well, Miss Richard must be saved embarrassment at all costs. Perhaps you will allow me.
Dear me, this is too generous. Your first day at the parish. I'm ashamed to such a large sum. It's been quite a while since I've had a proper Bank of England note. You have it.
Do let me look.
Is this the program, is it then?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Piano solo, Miss Tristan. No, we mustn't miss that on any account. Sorry, Mr. Puffett. Song by the Reverend Simon Goodacre.
Harriet the Creature.
Ah, yes, that's the stuff. Songs and sea shanties by the choir. Shenandoah, Rio Grande, Birds in the Wilderness. Exactly what we feel like. Here we sit like birds in the wilderness.
Birds in the wilderness, birds in the wilderness.
Here we sit like birds in the wilderness, down and down and around. We gave that with great spirit.
Nothing like a hearty song to take your mind off your troubles, is there, my lord?
Rather.
Well, Puffett, it seems you'd be having a little trouble with Mr. Noakes, should I say, Lord Peter's Wimsey. What's the matter with it?
Nothing catastrophic, just some corroded some, due to neglect.
Yes, that's bad. A friend of mine had trouble like that, and I cleared it up with an old-fashioned remedy. I wonder. Is Miss Ruddle here? The invaluable Miss Ruddle?
Oh, I told Lady Peter about Miss Ruddle. I'm sure I'd come myself.
Mrs. Ruddle!
Did you call, Mum?
Just come here, will you?
I'm coming, Mum. You lady.
Miss Ruddle, good morning. Could you do me a favor and run over to your house and grab your son's old shotgun?
I can pop over and see, sir.
I'll have Crutchley go for you.
Well, he is quicker on his feet than what I am, sir.
Loaded, of course, Miss Ruddle.
Yes, sir.
There's nothing like one of those dog guns discharged up the chimney for clearing corroded soot.
I don't hold that, sir. It's the power behind the rods does it.
I assure you, Puffett, the shotgun cleared my friend's chimney instantly.
That may be so, sir, but it isn't a remedy as I should care to imply. If the rods didn't do it, then it's lattice work, not explosive.
Oh, please don't leave us, Mr. Puffett. We don't like to hurt Mr. Goodacre's feelings, but please stand by in case anything happens.
Have a heart, Puffett.
Now, lady, I didn't mean to oblige, but don't say it didn't warn you.
It won't bring the chimney down, will it?
Oh, it won't bring the chimney down. If you like to humor the old gentleman, on your head be it, in a manner of speaking.
Anyhow, everything must be well covered up.
Mr. Goodacre.
Thank you, Crutchley.
My God, what a new vintage.
Well, I warned you.
There you are, sir. My boy says it's all loaded and ready.
Thank you.
Oh, are you sure it broke off and isn't cold?
Trust me, Miss Twitterton, there will be no ill effects.
Excuse me, my lord. There's a letter.
Just a moment, Bunter. The fireworks are about to begin. The chimney is to be cleared by the natural expansion of gas.
Very good, my lord. Sir, had you better not?
Oh, no, I have this. Thank you very much.
You're a better man than I am going to then. he asked me this, something awful has come down the chimney.
Peter! It's Mr. Goodacre!
Not hurt, sir, I hope?
Oh, no, nothing at all. Whiskey can't remedy.
Yes, been remarkably effective. Surprising things you find in old chimneys.
No dead bodies, I trust.
Only of the ornithological kind. And 7 or 8 feet of ancient chain is formerly worn by the mayors of Pagellan.
It's been one of those roasting jacks they used in the old days.
Well, it appears to have loosened some stuff up. Better see if we can get the rods through the chimney now.
It's still there. I will say, my lord, you look out to the same sky. Mark, take this one.
Excuse me, my lord. The letter is addressed to Mr. Noakes, marked urgent, business related.
Then we should perhaps give it to Miss Tristan.
Oh, Peter, I know nothing of business affairs.
Would you rather I tackled it?
Oh, it's too kind.
Right, hand it over.
Not minding other people's business, Miss Twitterton.
Oh, and allow me to invest you with the Order of the Chimney for attempting to rescue against overwhelming odds.
I'm much obliged to your lordship.
If you could just clear up the bodies, but the soldiers may be excused from the shooting. There's been enough of that for one day. Thank you. Yeah. See about this. Yes, MacDonald and Abrahams. That old clannish London firm. Solicitors, I thought so. Yeah. Quite foul language. Hard for all this here. Perhaps we could get Crutchley in to clean up some of the stuff here. It'd be most helpful. Yeah. Seems to put most foul language in big letters. I don't know why, but he can. Foul solicitors, they always are. But yeah. It would appear your uncle owes quite a bit of money, someone or another.
If you don't mind me saying so, my lord, it seems like Mr. Noakes has ran away.
Oh, Mr. Twitterton, it's all right. He doesn't know any more than we do.
Sure seems like it though, doesn't it? No, for, yeah, just a small matter of £900.
£900?
Owed to a company called Levy, and Levy. The family business is always the worst. Yes, capital and interest. Apparently been running 5 years. Oh, dear.
Oh, it must be all a mistake. Oh, yes, I'm sure it's a mistake.
I'm sorry, Miss Tristan, but it would appear that your uncle is broke.
Broke. And how about my £40?
Oh, Miss Twitterton, I am so sorry.
That's right, Crutchley. You were another investor in that business, weren't you? I'm afraid you won't be seeing that money again, but did he take you into partnership? That's good. Can't come after you for the money then. Yeah.
Now we know why the house was so cheap.
Yes. Cut price for spot cash.
You mean to slip the swindling old devil?
Steady, Crutchley. Steady. Must remember Miss Twitterton.
So off.
Well, off sure he is. About 1,000 miles by this time with my £40.
Most distressing, most distressing.
I'm sorry for you, Miss Tristan. That I am.
I suppose there might be the furniture that's paid for. Yeah. Oh, Miss Tristan.
I'll have my £40 out of somebody. Well, I suppose you should go to the bank. Maybe they can give you some.
Maybe they can help you.
And make sure to put it away careful. Just as I put this here bit of string. Then you have it handy. When you want it.
Yes, and
See?
I hope you do realize that poor Agnes Ruddle, of course, had nothing to do with this. But perhaps we shall give it a temperance that may give it smoothness. Just let me poor old leather handles, always breaking. Anyways, speaking of temperance, how about a spot? Bunter!
Yes, my lord.
Have we any drinks in the house?
Oh, certainly, my lord.
Mr. Noakes always kept a good barrel of beer down in the cellar. I will say that for the old gentleman.
Very well. Bunter, a barrel of beer and the whiskey, and some sherry for the ladies.
Yes, my lord.
Sherry's has always appeared to be the most agreeable wine. I was so glad to read in the paper, seeing I was come back to London and the universities. I can see these modern cocktails being either healthful or palatable, but I see no objection to a sound glass of wine every now and then for the stomach's sake.
Billy, come on, bike.
As the apostle says, it is an undoubtable restorative in moments of agitations like the one in the present.
Beer is best.
I'm afraid, Miss Tristan, I am very sorry about this sad shock to you.
Oh, we also don't know so far.
Don't you think if we could find him, he might be
I'm
able to...
sure he knows everything. Sort of his house.
Should probably check on the sherry, see how that's coming along.
It'll be all right.
Thank you, Bunter. Let's go down to the cellar to find the beer.
Yes, my lord.
Oh, well. Suppose it's the best spot for it. Glass of sherry, Miss Tristan?
Oh, it's early in the morning, and I suppose it isn't so early any longer. If you insist.
A present from Margate. It'll do you good. What's your poison, Padre?
Sure, thank you. To your health, my dear young people.
Thank you, Mr. Goodacre.
Take courage, Miss Twiston. Things may not be as bad as they seem.
Yes. I think things should be hopefully well assorted. If only we could find Mr. Noakes.
I'm gonna go see about that beer.
My lord, I'm afraid we found Mr. Noakes.
Afraid you found him?
What?
But for God's sake. Where? Down in the cellar?
It's Mr. Noakes!
Yes, my lord.
Possible. You can't mean to say.
I am very much afraid so, sir.
What's happened?
Miss Twiston.
Do you think you're gonna fall down the steps? Slit his throat, more like.
It's not a suicide.
Bunter, are you trying to tell us that this is murder? Right. Crutchley, you better go and get the police.
Right.
Miss Ruddle, a glass of water for poor Miss Whittington here.
Yes, and if your lordship will excuse me, sir, if it's the constable you're looking for, young Josephine Sellon, she's standing outside my gate, yarning with my Albert.
Yeah, Crutchley, take this. Run over and get that constable from Mrs. Ruddle's yard.
I shall go with him.
Bunter, make sure nothing's touched down there until the constable comes.
Yes, my lord.
You didn't happen to get that barrel of beer for you, did you? Oh well, there's worse things happening more.
She's better now, poor thing. Come on, dear. What you need now is a nice glass of water, which you already have, and a nice lay down. Shall I take her upstairs, lady?
Yes, do. I'll come in a moment.
Come on, dear. You'll be all right in 2 shakes of a ducktail.
Peter, and we came here for a quiet honeymoon.
Damn! Back to the old grind. Rigor mortis and who saw him last. Blood prints, fingerprints, footprints. Information received. It is my duty to warn you.
Now then, what's all this?
Another sandwich, Peter? Oh, is the doctor still in there? I wonder. I suppose I'll be wanting this room in a minute for the police.
The blackbird and the throstle, the lark in the sky. Sweet it is, my lady's bosom. Sweet it is to lie in my lady's bosom.
Uncle, excuse me.
I'm sorry, was I making a noise?
Superintendent Kirk would like to speak to your lordship.
Now we go over the cellar where the truth comb.
Shall I clear, my lady?
Yes, do. I hope you've had something to eat, Bunter.
Oh, yes, thank you, my lady. The heavy lunch has just arrived for Carter Patterson.
Oh, good heavens, I'd forgotten all about it.
Very natural, my lady, if I may say so. In view of all the circumstances, my lady, does your ladyship desire to order in any coal? I inquired the matter of his lordship, and he decided to refer the matter to your ladyship.
Coal? Yes, I suppose we shall have to have some coal.
Very
Get a
good.
little more light on the stairs if I open this door.
Poor Peter. I wish he hadn't be worried like this. It's too bad.
You know, it might help if you didn't fall onto the body.
I wonder, do you think I was right to order the coal?
It is not for me to say, my lady.
You've known him much longer than I have, Bunter. If his lordship had only himself to consider, do you suppose he would decide to go or stay?
In those circumstances, my lady, I fancy his lordship would decide to remain.
Then you'd better order enough coal for a month.
Very good, my lady.
All those constabulary boots trampling all over our cellar. Well, at least I think I've succeeded in establishing our innocence and sanity.
The ambulance has come.
Poor devil. So the house will be rid of him. I suppose it's too good. It's good to not feel too much sympathy with corpses when one's investigating a murder. Cramps one's style.
Peter, need you investigate this?
No, I needn't. I expect I shall.
You want to write to your own life sometimes. It's such a beastly little
That's
crime.
just it. That's why I can't let it go. God, if you knew how much I hated it, how much I loathe haste and blood and violence. All this butcher's work, men quarreling and killing and... I'm sorry.
Carry on, Peter.
You sure you don't mind all these constables and policemen trampling all over the place?
Of course I don't mind. They look very charming policemen. Peter, there weren't any rats in that cellar, were there?
Oh, darling. No rats. All quite dry. A very nice cellar altogether.
I'm glad. I was sort of imagining rats.
They're taking Mr. Notes away. Shall we be getting on with the kitchen chimney?
Oh, yes, please.
Does beautiful now, doesn't she?
Simply marvelously.
It's good that Mr. Notes isn't allowed to see that heap of coal. That's a fire that does credit to the chimney.
All right, Puffett. Better get along with the job.
Okay, my lord. Where's all this cheese paring brought him? Nowhere.
And now I suppose we advance to the interrogation.
Yes, I suppose we do.
Of course, the superintendent may cut the Gordian knot by simply refusing to avail himself of our kind assistance. Local police aren't fools these days, not by any means. Their routine will get them a long way. It'll take them a hell of a time. Problem is, they'll start by asking who did it and why. It's no good asking who until you know who and can prove it. It's no good asking why, because motives are misleading. In any case, you don't have to prove motive. The only questions you have to answer are when, where, and how. How is the most important question. Once you know how, you know who.
Good heavens, I've married my one intelligent reader. Artistically,
If it's
the
right
only-
in art, it's right in practice. Of course, when these constables come in here, it'll be who and cry after who and why.
Give them one.
When is a gift? They'll find out when Mr. Noakes was last seen alive and when he was first known to be missing. Where is going to be the devil? It really is.
Yes. And the alibis will all depend on who could beg, borrow, steal, or cut keys for the house.
Yes. Again, where is going to be the devil? It's really going to come up short. He could have been killed where he fell, dragged there, crawled there, or been carried.
Yes, that's true. It could have been anywhere. I wonder how long we'll take over that.
Not nearly as long as I'll take after why. First motive they're going to come to is money. Money Mr. Noakes had but wasn't supposed to have, or that he didn't have but was supposed to have. Then there'll be revenge, blackmail.
Harp, sackbut, psaltery, and the damned as before.
Problem with Howe is, of course, that all the evidence had been cleared up by us when we arrived. It's going to be a job proving Howe from circumstantial evidence.
Yes.
Oh, well. But I'm afraid we won't get it any other way. Every time we ask why, we should be going wrong. Every time we ask how, we may be going right.
The place is what I should like to fix. If it
Ah.
wasn't in the cellar.
Ah, super. Already from third degree?
Oh, it ain't likely to come to that, my lord. Come on, Josephine. How's the... Let's prepare to get on with a bit of shorthand, shall we?
Here's a nice imposing chair for you, Superintendent.
Thank you, my lady.
That's old Nook's chair, that was.
Ah, so Galahad will sit down in Merlin's seat.
Tennyson?
Oh, got it in one. A bit of a student, super?
Oh, I like to do a bit of good reading in my off-duty. Broadens and mellows the mind. Reading maketh full man,
Conference already, man.
and writing an exact man. Mind that, Joe Sellon.
Ah, Francis Bacon. Mr. Kirk, you're a man after my own heart.
Thank you, my lord. Well, I'm afraid we must get down to business now.
Yes, I would say get yourself a chair, Sellon, but you seem to have already gotten one. And now you're assaulting me with a pen.
Take that.
All right, well, we needn't trouble you very much, my lord. I think you've given us all we're likely to want. If you don't mind us asking how much you paid for this house?
$6.50.
So that accounts for the money we found on the body.
You had it in cash?
Currency notes,
All of it?
every penny.
That's funny. It rather looks as though he had intended to make a bolt with it. Or he'd surely have paid it into the bank.
Quite right, my lady. And it complicates the question of motive. And what I ask myself is why?
Look, isn't it a bit early to be asking that? I mean, it's a fact he wasn't robbed.
And he could have paid Crutchley his £40.
Yes.
Well, of course he could have if he wanted to. That old Mr. Notes was a proper old dodger. A real artful dodger.
Dickens!
Well, now, to get on, you came here on your honeymoon, is that right?
Yes. You might not think it, Super, but I'm really a rather shy, modest, retiring sort of bloke.
Oh, Mr. Kirk, when it comes to reporters sitting all day on the doorstep and hiding in the back of the car.
Trying to bribe your servants after the Bunter is sea green incorruptible.
Carlisle, French Revolution.
Yes. Well, what I mean to say is we set the wedding for the wrong day. I got our tickets meant and then got married in a decent Christian sort of manner and then popped along here.
When we found the house all shut up.
All shut up, was it? You're sure of that?
Quite sure.
Yes, so am I.
Both doors locked and burglar-proof bolts on all the windows.
Get that down, Josephine.
So we waddled over to Mrs. Ruddle and she sent us over to Packard.
And when we showed Miss Twitterton Mr. Noakes' letter, she gave us a key.
Yes, but when we Kinney started smoking like fury, so we followed down a bit of grub and beat it off upstairs.
Ah, that's a pity. You might have found something if you looked, but seeing as if you weren't expecting anything, you probably wouldn't have found anything.
No.
No, but how about in the morning? You must have moved stuff around for the suite.
We'd better have Bunter in for that. Bunter! What we need in this place is a bell.
How's the shorthand?
My lord?
Ah, Bunter. You wouldn't mind telling Mr. Kirk here what things looked like in the morning. This morning, that is.
Yes, my lord. There were no anomalies nor incongruities of any description, my lord. Everything presented a remarkably orderly appearance, except...
Yes?
I attached no significance to it at the time, but there were 2 candles in this room, on the sideboard, burnt right down to the sockets, right back.
That's interesting, very.
Night's candles are burnt out. I said, night's candles are burnt out.
Romeo and Juliet, yes, of course. Burnt out. That means he must have been killed before dark. After dark, that is, when the candles were lit.
He died by candlelight. Sounds like a highbrow thriller. One of yours.
Well, you saw nothing else of a suspicious nature, from mallet or bludgeon? Nothing in the way of
Going to say it.
nothing in the way of a blunt instrument.
He said it! Voila!
No, my lord. Nothing but customary household utensils in their appropriate situations.
Do you know what sort of a blunt instrument it was?
Pretty heavy, my lord, and with a smooth head.
Meaning it didn't draw any blood.
Oh, hardly at all.
On discovering the body, I naturally examined it, without moving it from its place, of course, and the skull was extensively fractured,
Cracked like an eggshell.
but the skin was scarcely broken.
Meaning it's useless looking for blood stains. Might be a smear or two on the weapon, or a hair.
There's the trouble. Even if there were any marks, we don't know where they'd be.
I mean, you don't know where the murder was committed.
No, my lord. You see, well, as I understand, you have some experience with murders and such, so you'll enter into this. It's a bit of a mix-up.
Bunter, that'll be enough.
Thank you, my lord. Now, where's doctor's report, Joe?
Right here. Dear sir, it is my duty to notify you of the
No,
deceased
not there. Down where it begins about deceased.
I knew that. Deceased was struck with a heavy, blunt instrument of considerable extent of surface.
Meaning by that it wasn't the little sharp thing at the peak of the hammer, was it?
On a part of the onion.
Couldn't be that, Joe. It's like geranium?
Try cranium. So,
A little above the left ear, it looks like.
does that be about here?
Oh, a bit tired, I'd say.
The blow being directed from behind and downwards.
Oh, but surely that means
One of our old friends.
the left-handed criminal.
Or a backhanded blow. Mr. Noakes was a tallish man, wasn't he?
That's just the point. He was a very tall old gentleman. Say, 6'2".
They're looking for a tall murderer.
Or a long-handled weapon.
That's true.
Like, poker work?
Mallet, beetle, golf club.
Croquet bat, croquet mallet, cricket bat, spade?
Perhaps poker or long poker.
Yeah.
Brute?
Not heavy enough. Axe, pick, hatchet.
Not blunt enough. Not lead piping.
Nor sandbag, nor rolling pin.
Nor a cosh, nor a spanner, nor a cleaver, nor a hammer.
Unless, of course, the victim was sitting down at the time.
Truth. You're quick, you two, and the lady's as smart as the gentleman.
She writes detective stories. It's her job.
And, if you see any of those instruments that you just mentioned lying about, you might let me know.
Of course. Sure Mr. Noakes didn't, just die where he fell?
Oh, actually, our man says it's quite out of the question that it was the fall that killed him. Nature of the injury, direction of the blow, and so on. He's quite certain.
Doctor says from about half an hour to an hour after the blow, judging from the...
I think you must have found the wrong part of the letter again, Sellon.
I don't
You
know.
must play more word games.
Judging from the hemorrhagic effusion to the cortex.
Ah, yes, in the vulgar tongue, bleeding in the brain.
Yes, but when did all this happen?
That's just it. We don't know. He didn't die straight off. And you don't have to read that part out. It's only doctor's rigmarole. I can explain as best I can. Seemingly what happened was this. Somebody hit him, bust his skull, see? And he tumbled down the stairs and lose consciousness at once.
Concussed.
Yes, exactly. But he wouldn't remember a thing about it.
Is that all in order?
Oh yes, I know that bit off by heart. There'd be complete forgetfulness of everything immediately preceding the blow. He'd pick himself up and feel quite all right for a time.
Quite correct, my lady, except maybe for a sore head. But he'd do all the usual things.
Like locking the door behind the killer.
Exactly, and there's the trouble.
That's how he could have got out of the house here and left it all locked up.
Yeah.
And then he'd get all giddy and drowsy like,
Walk off to get a drink.
pitch down the steps, and die there.
I suppose that's how he died. It's a step closer. Step in the right direction, but it doesn't tell us how he was killed.
It doesn't tell us where. It could have been indoors or outdoors. Upstairs, downstairs?
In my lady's chamber?
No, no, Mother Goose. Not there, my child. How long did he live after the blow?
About half an hour to an hour.
Yes, judging from the hemorrhagic
Yes.
appearance, as we already said.
So, what can we suppose from that?
Well, it does key into as for when he was killed. Based on what your man says, sometime last Wednesday night and after dark, based on what he said about the candle.
So last week, say after 7:30?
Well, we'd better have that fellow Crutchley, and he seems to have been the last person to see the deceased alive.
Therefore, the obvious suspect.
And consequently innocent in books.
Yes, Super, shall we make ourselves scarce?
Oh, that's as you like, my lord. We wouldn't mind you staying. You might be of some help to us. We don't get a lot of experience with this kind of thing down here. But it is sort of a busman's holiday for you, isn't it?
Busman's honeymoon, so to speak. Very well. I take no objection to smoking in court. Where have I put my matches?
Oh. Here you are, my lord.
Hello. You are left-handed.
Huh?
For some things, my lord.
So,
Not writing.
so you are, Joe. I sure hope you ain't this tall, left-handed murderer you're looking for.
No, sir.
Pretty thing that would be. We'd never hear the last of that. Now, you hop out and get Crutchley. Nice lady she is. I sometimes think her heart isn't rightly in her work. Got married too fast, that's what it is. Started a family, which is a handicap to a young officer.
All this matrimony is a great mistake.
Well, I warned you.
You did.
Hopefully,
That's right, my lad. Come, take a seat. Now, Crutchley's the name, right? What was your first name?
Frick.
Frank Crutchley. Gardener here, ain't he?
1 day a week, that's all, $5.
And what do you do the rest of the time?
Odd jobs. Mostly I drive the lorry for Ancock over at Packford Royal Lodges. And taxi work and such. Saving up I was to get started with a new garage of my own. Only for that 40 pounds Mr. Oaks had off me.
Never mind that. That's gone west, that has. Now, when was the last time you saw the gentleman?
Wednesday evening, same as I said. I finished up my work out there and came in here to do the pots. Once I done him, he gave me $5 and I started asking him for my 40 pounds.
And was that in here?
The kitchen, he usually sat in there. I put the steps up.
Steps? What did you want the steps for?
That. And the cactus. I can't reach any of them. I have to wind the clock.
And was he alone when you went out?
Yes, he wasn't the sort of people who dropped in for a chat with.
And which door?
The back door. He must have used that. The front door was always kept locked.
Spring lock?
No, ordinary mortise. Had to be locked or unlocked with the key.
Did the key ever left? No.
No, I feel like I've been in the bunch.
By the way, Super, did you find the front door key on the body?
Here's his bunch.
I appear to have mislaid mine. I'll go and fetch it for you when we're done here.
All right. Now, to get back. Was that clock going when you got here last night, my lady?
Yes, it was. I noticed, and it was right then.
I've forgotten why my watch and all the excitement. Well,
Now, just as a matter of form, you understand, what did you do when you left the house?
I went right round to choir practice.
Why, I was about to say, that ought to be easy enough to check up on. And then?
Vicar asked me to drive his car over to Hagford. I had my supper there at Pig and Whistle, and I had a look on at the darts match. Puffett was there, he can tell you.
Mr. Puffett, a darts player.
Ex-champion, and still throws a tiny dart.
Must be the power he puts behind it.
Well, we'll see Puffett presently. Did you bring Mr. Goodacre back?
Yes, it was about 10:30 when I got him home. I went back to
do you sleep?
Hancock's garage, with that other chap, Williams. He can tell you.
You want me, my lord? Anyways, I can't do nothing about this here kitchen pot. We have the Reverend's gun, my lord, or shall I fetch the ladder before it gets dark?
I wonder if we'd better leave it till tomorrow.
I don't mind telling you, my lady. Mr. Bunter spark it out, thinking that I'll cook your dinner on that nasty little oil stove.
Oh, all right. I'd better go see what he says about it.
Thank you, my lady.
Just a moment, Mr. Puffett. Crutchley here says he was at Firecracker last Wednesday night. Do you know anything about that?
That's right, he was there, 6:30 to 7:30. Harvest Samuel. For his mercy still endure, ever faithful. That's right enough.
And you saw me at the pig, too.
Of course I did. I wasn't blind. You were eating bread and cheese and you had 4.5 pints. Because I counted them. Round some one of these days, I reckon.
Well, and Crutchley was there the whole time?
Till close, 10 o'clock. Then we had to go fetch Mr. Goodacre from his West Drop. Isn't that right for you, Crutchley?
That's right enough.
Good. That's all I wanted to know. Thank you.
I'll be seeing about those ladders then.
Well, Crutchley, that seems straight enough. Have you any keys to this house?
Not me. Agnes got one for the front door.
And did you come back here any time during the week?
No, Wednesday's my day here.
You can't give us any further information?
Not a thing.
Crutchley, did you know anything about a note case Mr. Noakes lost 2 years ago? Bunter had fancied there had been some fuss about it.
All I know is he made a hell of a fuss with the 10 pounds he had in it, so he said, if he'd lost 40 pounds.
That'll do. Now, do you know about that, Josephine?
No, sir. We made out it wasn't that found, and he must have dropped it from his pocket in the road.
See, they put new locks on the doors 2 years ago, but that was a long time. My brother can tell you.
Well, it don't seem to be related to this if it was 2 years ago.
Yes, only explains why Mr. Noakes was so careful about locking the doors and windows.
Yes. All right, Crutchley, that'll do for now. Well, stay about in case you're wanted later.
It's my day here. I'm working in the garden.
Well, it don't seem as if it could be him. He and Puffett are alibis for one another.
Puffett? Puffett's an alibi for himself. The man of upright soul and humour placid needs no blunt instrument nor sulphuric acid. Odes to Horace. Wimsey's translation.
Is that so? Then Puffett's word is good enough? Not that he couldn't have done that. Next day, even.
Or even before.
But that doesn't fit in with what the old man said about the candles.
No. We must accept the evidence of the candles.
Either way, he wouldn't have missed the cash.
No. Almost looks like as if the murder wasn't committed for money.
That's the funny thing about it, yes.
Did Mr. Noakes have anything to leave?
Yes, we do have that. I found this on his bedstand. After payment of my just debts,
Cynical old blighter.
all I die possessed of goes to my niece and sole surviving relative, Agnes Twitterton. Does that surprise you?
No, why should it?
Well, what does Twitterton say to the letter's revelations?
Well, she went a little bit hysterical on that. Nothing out of the usual.
Seemed a bit of a blow, eh?
Not more than one might expect.
What did she say when she found the body?
She screamed a bit, you know. Let's see what you're getting at.
Say anything particular? See here, my lord, I can't want anything from everyone else here.
And why don't you ask them?
I'm going to. Mrs. Ruddle, come here a moment. Now, my lord, I know you're a gentleman and all that, and it does you credit. But I can't afford to indulge in feelings. They're a privilege of the upper class.
Upper classes be damned.
Quite right. Now, Mrs. Ruddle, if you'd be so kind, what were the reactions of the family and friends upon the discovery of the body?
Well, we were upset. Who wouldn't be?
Remember anything special said?
Well, Crutchley went as white as a sheet. The Reverend was badly put about. Maggie had hysterics, but she didn't seem as surprised as the rest of us.
What do you
Did
mean?
she? Well, when Mr. Bunter came in to tell us that he found Mr. Noakes' body, she shouted out at once, "Oh, Uncle's dead!"
She could have told that from Bunter's manner. At least I could.
Yes, anything else?
Well, she shouted out, "Uncle's dead and all the money is gone!"
Well, we'll have to see Miss Tristan then.
Get my wife to fetch her down.
Real nice gents, Joe. Well educated. Sees the way the world's turning and doesn't like it. Small blame to him.
Can't think old Aggie Flitterson hoshed old notes on the head with a mallet.
Well, you never know, my lady. The female of the species is more deadly than the male. Rudyard Kipling. Don't you see, if Noakes was killed for what he had to leave,
But he had nothing to leave.
we know that. But he didn't have. And if he was murdered for what he had to leave, that would explain why £650 was left on him. Probably she didn't know it was there, and even if she did, she would expect it to all go to her, and anyways. Use your brains, Josephine.
I think Mr. Goodacre has something to say to you, Superintendent.
Well, yes, I just wanted to see if you need me for anything, and tell Miss Twitterton I spoke to Lug about the coffin. Oh, and I spoke to Crutchley as I came up the path.
And what did he say?
Oh, he just is worried that he's under suspicion, but I can assure you, Superintendent, that he's a fine young lad. I don't think he has anything to do with it. Also, he was with me from choir practice last night, from 6:30 to 7:30, and he took me over to Packard and fetched me back there at 10.
That's all right, sir. If an alibi is wanted for those times, you and him are out.
I'm out of it, bless my soul, Superintendent.
Only my trouble, sir.
Yes, well, I hope to assure you that Crutchley is an all-right lad. He's a young man who I have a good opinion of. Don't think too much about that £40. It's a considerable sum for a man of his position.
Don't worry, sir. Just glad to have the confirmation of those times.
Yes, I thought I'd better mention it. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Well, thank you, sir, but I think not. Not for the present, anyway. Much obliged.
I mustn't waste any more of your valuable time. Good morning, Superintendent.
Good afternoon, sir.
Oh, yes, of course.
Well, seems very excited about it. What makes him so sure that those are the essential times? We don't know they are.
No, sir.
Can't be him, though. Well, he does seem tall enough.
I'm sure it can be bigger, sir.
That is what I'm saying.
Yes, that's right, I guess.
Oh, Lady Peter, please don't leave me.
No.
Please, sit down, Miss Twitterton. Nothing to be alarmed about. Now, first of all, I understand you knew nothing whatsoever about the financial situation between Peter Wimsey and your uncle, selling the house and all that?
Oh, no, I was never surprised in my life.
And when have you seen him last?
Not for about 10 days. But I called in on him last Sunday after the morning service. I play the organ for dear Vicar. It's a tiny church and not many people. And I called on him then, and he seemed quite as usual. And that's the last time I saw him. Oh, dear.
Quite so. And were you aware that he was absent from this home since last Wednesday?
No, I had no idea. I mean, it was quite an ordinary thing for him to be the way it was, but if I had known, I shouldn't have been so surprised.
You have a key for the front door, haven't you?
Yes, I gave it to Lord Peter.
Is this it?
It must be. I carried it with my own lunch.
And you never left it to anybody?
No. It never left me.
You never left it about where it could be borrowed?
No, never.
And, where do you keep the keys at night?
I take them up to bed with me. I put them on the table with tea on a silver teapot, and after Sophie's pirouette, that was a wedding present to my grandparents. They gave it to me every night, right after the day. Why, I use that in case of a fire. And I'm sure nobody could get up to my room because I put a deck chair at the head of the stairs.
A deck chair?
A triple pergola. It's a splendid thing, you see. Why,
the burglar was getting all caught. I shall hear him and ring the window for the police.
Heavens, Miss Twitterton, how dreadfully ruthless of you. The poor man might have broken his neck.
What man?
The burglar?
Oh, Lady Peter, you don't understand. I'm trying to explain. He never was a burglar.
Well, it doesn't look as though anybody else could have got the keys. Now, Miss Twitterton, about these money difficulties of your uncle's,
Oh dear, I had no idea.
did you make a will, do you know?
Oh, I'm sure he made one. Not that it would matter, because I'm the only one left. But whenever I was worried, he would always tell me not to be in a hurry. Why, he couldn't help me then, because it was all tied up in his system. It'll come to me eventually.
I see, and you never thought he might change his mind?
No, never.
Well, I'm afraid it doesn't look like you'll be getting much of anything now.
Oh, I'm sure it seems dreadful to be getting rid of much money now, but the times are so hard, and there's always the rent.
I'm sure something will turn up.
I had counted on it rather especially. Oh dear.
It's quite clean.
Poor soul.
So sorry. This is making me tear up.
Well, I understand you'd probably like to go, but if you wouldn't mind telling me just where you were last Wednesday evening, just a matter of form, you understand.
Wednesdays is always choir practice.
And after that?
Why, I went home, of course.
And then?
And then I had my supper, and then I had a dozen flowers to kill before I went to bed.
You don't mean to say you killed him yourself?
Oh, Lady Peter, it's so much easier than you think.
Yes, ringing necks is just an act.
That's right, bring him up, boys. Bring him up. It's the sharp jerk that does it.
Oh, steady on, Super. We're alarming the ladies.
Can't have that, can we? Now, I think that's all for the moment. Thank you, Miss Tristan.
There, it's all over.
Oh, and my lady, would you mind telling us, Mrs. Ruddle, that she's who we want next?
Yes.
You must get those times straight in the
Come and see how Mr. Puffett is getting along with the kitchen chimney. And I want you to show me where some of the things are.
He was quite frank about that.
Yes, my lord, she knew about it all right. A little knowledge is a dangerous thing.
Not knowledge, learning. Little learning. Alexander Pope.
Is that so? I must make a note of that. Well, don't look as if anyone else could have got hold of this key, but you never know.
I think she was telling the truth.
Well, I reckon there are several kinds of truth, my lord. There's truth as far as you knows it, and there's truth as far as you ask it. For instance, I never asked her if she locked up the house for anybody else. I just asked, when was the last time you saw your uncle? See?
Yes, I see. Well, I personally prefer not to have the key to a house in which they discovered a corpse.
Yes.
Did you want me, mister?
Yes, we wanted to fix up a bit more exactly about the time of the crime. Now, Crutchley saw Mr. Noakes alive and well at about 6:20, and you came in next morning and found the house shut up.
That's right. 7:30, as usual. And I says, drat that man, he's gone off to Broxford again, thinking he'd have taken the 10 o'clock bus the night before.
I see, and what did you do then?
Told the baker in the milkman not to call, and left a note in the door telling the postman to bring his letters down to me. There wasn't only 2, and they was bills, so I didn't send them on.
That's the right way with bills.
When this gentleman came for you last night and let you into this house, how did you find it?
Same as usual.
Nothing out of place?
No, except his dirty supper things all left out on the kitchen table. He always had his supper at 7:30 regular, and then he sat in the kitchen with the paper till he came in here for the news at 9:30. Very regular he was.
So, he had his supper and had his bed been slept in?
No, but of course I put clean sheets on for the lady and gentleman. I hope I knows what's proper.
Well, that helps a lot. He ate his supper at 7:30, so he was presumably alive then. And then he didn't go to bed, so when did he usually go to bed, Mrs. Ruddle?
11 o'clock, sir, regular as clockwork. He switched off the wireless and I see his candle go upstairs to his bed. I can see his bedroom from my back window clear enough.
Now, cast to remind back last Wednesday night. Do you recollect seeing Miss Campbell go upstairs?
Well, there now you come to mention of it, Mr. Cook, I did not. Which I remember saying to my bird only the next day, then, if I'd only kept awake a moment longer, I might have known he'd gone off, seeing his bedroom window dark. But there, I says, I was that worn out, I dropped off the moment my head was on the pillow.
Well, it don't seem to matter now, seeing as his bed wasn't slept in, so he's probably downstairs.
Oh Lord, Mr. Cook, there now!
Have you thought of something?
Why, yes, of course! I don't know how it didn't come to me head before, but I've been so mothered with all these dreadful things happening. Of course. If he wasn't off by the bus, then he must have been dead before 9:30.
What makes you think that?
'Cause his wireless wasn't a-working, and I says to Byrne,
Just a minute, what's all this about the wireless?
why, Mr. Kirk, if Mr. Noakes had been here alive, he wouldn't have missed the 9:30 news. Not if it was ever so. And I remember saying to my Byrne, that funny thing, I says, Mr. Noakes ain't got his wireless going. That ain't like him, I says.
But you couldn't hear his wireless from your cottage, not with all these doors and windows shut, could you?
Well, I won't deceive you now, Mr. Kirk. I did just run over here a few minutes after the half hour to borrow a drop of Puffett from his shed. And if his wireless had been on then, I couldn't have helped hearing of it. For them walls at the back ain't only plaster, and he always had a roaring a powerful hard on account of being hard of hearing.
I see. Well, I'll just decide to forget about the paraffin borrowing that's going on here. But 9:30 news, that's on the National, correct?
That's right. He never troubled with the 6 o'clock.
Point is set to regional.
Looks like he didn't take it on then. Not for the 9:30 anyways. We're getting on. Dead or unconscious before 9:30. Last seen alive at, say, 6:20. Ate his supper.
6:20? Go on! He was alive and kicking at 9 o'clock.
How do you know?
'Cause I seen him. Here, what you getting at? Trying to put something at me? You know as well as I do he was alive at 9. Why, and Joe Sellon here was talking to him.
What?
Yes, that's right.
Of course it is. You don't catch me that way, Joe Sellon. I come in at 9 o'clock for fetching a pail of water. Always free permission to use the pump. And I see him plain as the nose of my face and talking to him at this very window. Ah, and I heard you too. Using language you did. Ashamed of yourself. Not fit for a decent woman to listen to.
All right, you just wanted confirmation on that there point. 9 o'clock you say it was?
Yours makes no difference. My clock said 10 past, but it gains a bit. Ask a Josephine Sellon. If you want to know the time, ask a policewoman.
Right. Well, that gets us pretty near the time. Now you just run along and see here. Don't go shooting your mouth.
I'm sure I ain't one to talk.
Now, Miss Ruddle, you're a very, very important witness, and reporters might try to wheedle things out of you, and who don't want to do a bad turn for poor Mr. Kirk here.
I'm sure I knows better than to go talking to newspaper men, a nasty, vulgar lot.
That's right, I knew we could count on you.
Now, Josephine Sellon is the meaning of this.
Well, sir.
I'm disappointed in you, Joe. I'm astonished. Mean to say, you was there at 9 o'clock talking to Mr. Noakes, and you said nothing about it? Ain't you got no sense of duty?
I'm sure I'm very sorry, sir.
Sorry, that's a nice word to use. You, a police officer, withholding important evidence, and say you're sorry?
I didn't mean I didn't know the old cat had seen me.
What the heck does it matter who saw you? You ought to have told me first thing. My God, Josephine Sellon, I don't know what to make of you. Upon my word, you're for it, my lady.
I'm sorry.
Now look here. What were you doing here last Wednesday night? Speak up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You're left-handed, aren't you?
Oh my God, sir. Oh my God, I never done it. I swear. I never done it. Heaven knows I've caused enough, but I never done it. I swear. I'm innocent.
Cause? What cause? Come on now, out with it. What were you doing with Mr. Noakes?
I never touched him. I never done anything to him. If I were to die the next minute, sir, I'm innocent.
What were you doing up here at 9 o'clock?
Nothing. Only to pass the time of day.
Time of day.
Look here, Sellon. You try to make a clean breast of it here to Mr. Kirk. There's no good beating about the bush. I'll just pass along the
Oh my God, sir. Oh my God, don't you go. I made a fool of myself.
We always do at times.
You'll believe me, my lord. Oh God, He'll break me.
I shouldn't wonder.
Now look here. Mr. Kirk isn't a man to be unkind or mean to anybody. Now, it's probably good just to come out with it right here.
Well, there note case of Mr. Noakes, what he lost.
2 years ago, what about it?
I found it. I found it in the road. 10 pound he had in it, and I was desperate bad after the fall I took. Doctor said I ought to have special treatment, and I hadn't saved nothing. And the pay's not much, nor the allowance. I've been a fool. I meant to put it back right away, and I know we're supposed to be honest, but it's a lot of temptation in a woman's way.
The generous country demands a lot of honesty for £2 or £3 a week.
Well,
Now, what was this about? Now, what happened next?
He found out, sir. I don't know how, but he did. And he threatened to report me. And that would have been the end of me. No job, and no one would have given me work after that. So I had to pay him what he said, to stop his tongue.
Pay him!
that's blackmail. It's an indictable offense.
Call it what you like, sir. For me, it was life and death. $5 a week he'd been robbing me for these past 2 years.
Good God.
And I tell you, my lord, when I came in the room this morning and I heard that he was dead, it was like a breath of heaven to me. But I didn't kill him. I swear I didn't. You believe me. You believe me, my lord. I didn't do it.
Wouldn't have blamed you if you had.
But I didn't. It's all right, sir. I know that I've been a fool and worse than this, sir. Sure. As I stand here, I did not kill Mr. Noakes.
Well, Joe, it's bad enough without that. Well, you've been a fool, and no mistake. But we'll have to see about that later. You better tell us now what did happen.
I came up to see him to tell him I hadn't got the money that week. And he laughed in my face. That old devil.
What time was this?
Well, I came in that there window, and I looked in, and the curtains weren't drawn, and it was all dark outside. Only then I saw him coming from the kitchen with a candle in his hand. He held the candle up to that clock there. I saw it, and I saw that it was 5 minutes past 9.
You saw the clock from that window. You're sure?
Yes, my lord. Then he comes over to draw the windows, and I taps on the window, and he opens it. And I tell him I ain't got the money, and he laughs at me all nasty like. And he says, all right, but I'll report you in the morning. And I gather up my courage, and I tell him I can't. You can't do that. It's blackmail. And he says, blackmail? What are you talking about? You never paid me money. You have nothing on paper. Where are the receipts? And I swore at him, and he yelled at me, and he slammed the window shut. I tried the door, but it was locked. And I guess that's the last I've ever seen of Mr. Noakes.
You didn't go into the house?
No, sir.
Are you telling all the truth?
Honest to God, I am, sir.
You're sure?
God's truth, my lord!
Well, I don't know rightly what to say. See here, Josephine, you better go straight away to Pagsworth. Check up on that alibi for Crutchley.
Very good, my lord.
Talk to you when you come back.
Very good. And I hope you won't be too hard on me, my lord.
That's as may be. Well, what do you think of that?
An awful story. Well, there's a new motive for you, all a growing and a blowing. Wise appeals quite a bit, doesn't it? Blackmailers, as a rule, don't stop at one victim.
Why couldn't she come to me or her sergeant if she was late? This is the devil and all. Beats me altogether. I wouldn't have believed it.
There's more in heaven and earth, Horatio.
William Shakespeare.
Yes, well. In every village and hamlet in this merry land, stir up the pond and the stinkle surprise you. Look, you've had no official word about this theft, and it's been paid back choice over.
With all due respect, my lord, it's easy enough for you to be soft-hearted. It ain't your responsibility. That there note, he must have been a proper old twister.
It's a damn ugly story. It's enough to make a man. Oh, hell!
What's up?
I'm sorry for that poor Sellon, but I've got to say it.
Well, what?
That story of his, it sounded all right,
Yes.
but it wasn't. One bit of it was a lie.
A lie?
He said he never came into the house.
Yes, well?
He said he saw that clock from that window.
Well?
But I tried that this morning when I wanted to set my watch. It's not possible. Damn cactus is in the way.
It is.
It's absolutely impossible. I say that infernal bloody... Oh, he's gone. Superintendent! For Christ's sake.
You're right. Can't be done.
Absolutely impossible.
Small hole for Ritz cracker and
Shall I put them peas on, Mr. Bunter?
I'll see to the peas at the proper time, Mrs. Ruddle. His lordship is very particular about his peas.
Just like my Bert. Ma, he always says, I hate peas hard. Funny how often they is hard. Come up lovely, haven't they?
Thank you.
Funny the way the gentry is about them little bits of things. Curry yucks. Rubbish, if you asks me.
It's a very old piece.
Reckon them shoved it up the chimney, knew what they was doing. Give me a nice gas oven. That's what I like.
People have been found dead in gas ovens before now.
Lord now, Mr. Bunter, don't you talk like that. Ain't you had enough purposes about this house? How they can go on living here?
Speaking for his lordship and myself, we are accustomed to corpses.
And where he's happy, she's happy. It's easy to see she worships the ground he treads on.
A very appropriate attitude in a young married woman.
Happy days, but it's early days yet, Mr. Bunter. A man's a man when all's said and done. Ruddle now, he used to knock me up shocking when he had a drop. Though a good husband and bringing the money home regular.
I beg that you will not institute these comparisons, Mrs. Ruddle. 20 years of service for his lordship, and a sweeter-tempered old gentleman you may not hope to find.
You ain't married to him, Mr. Bunter. You can give him a month's warning any day.
Well, I hope I know when I am well situated. I have served his lordship for 20 years, and not a single harsh word nor an unjust action in all my knowledge of him.
You're lucky. I couldn't rightly say the same of poor Mr. Noakes, which, though he's dead and gone, I will say he was a sour-tempered, closed-fisted, suspicious old brute. Poor old gentleman.
Gentleman, Mrs. Ruddle, I may designate as an elastic term.
Oh, there won't be many wet eyes at his funeral. Hello, here's love's young dreamer coming up the path.
To whom might you be referring, Mrs. Ruddle?
Why, that Frank Crutchley.
Oh, Crutchley is here choice for your second.
Go along with you, Mr. Bunter. Me? No fear. No. Aggie Twitterton. Runs after him like my old cat with one kitten.
Oh.
At her age! Mutton dressed as lamb. Makes me feel sick.
Any special orders tonight?
Yes, his lordship gave instructions to clean the car, but is now just gone out again.
Have you heard when they fixed for the funeral?
11:30 tomorrow.
And high time, too. With him laying there a week and more.
I don't think they got much for her at the inquest.
Ushin' it up. That's what they was. Trying to make out there was nothing up between Josephine Sellon and him.
I think they went a bit fast over that part.
Didn't want nobody to think a Bobby might have been mixed up in it. See how the coroner shut me up when I started to tell him? But then newspaper men were on to it quick enough.
Did you communicate your opinions to them, Mayor?
Well, I might have done or I might have not, Mr. Bunter. Only just at that instant minute, out comes his lordship, and they were all onto him like wasps around a jam pot. Him and his lady, they'll be in all the pictures tomorrow. It's nice to see your friends in the pictures, ain't it, Mr. Bunter?
The laceration of his lordship's most intimate feelings can afford no satisfaction to me, Mrs. Ruddle.
I wonder if I was to tell him about Joe Sellon, if I'd be in the pictures too. I wonder why they let that young lady go about at large. We might all be murdered in our beds.
You don't think he done it? Not really.
All I know is that they took her off the job and sent her to a case of swine fever down at Dax's farm. And that their sergeant of Mr. Kirk's has been in and out of Sellon's place all day.
They didn't expect Sellon, Mrs. Ruddle.
Mr. Bunter, the moment I see Mr. Noakes's body, I says to myself, now what's Josephine Sellon doing here in all of this? I'm being the last to see the poor man alive.
Then you had been aware that the crime had been committed on the Wednesday night?
Well, of course No, I hadn't. See here, Mr. Bunter, don't you go putting words in a woman's mouth.
I think you had better be careful.
That's right, Ma. You don't want to imagine things. You'll land yourself in Queer Street one of these days.
Well, I didn't bear no particular grudge against Mr. Noakes. Not like some, as I can name with their 40 pounds.
God damn mighty, what a tongue. I wonder her own spit don't poison her. I wouldn't hang around on remnants. Mangy old Paul Parrot.
Waiting for kisses in the gloom.
What you getting at?
Aggie Twitterton, coming down the hill on her bicycle.
That's her, all right.
What it is to be the answer to a maiden's prayer.
You know, me and Aggie Twitterton got nothing.
There might not be anything between you and her, but there might be between her and you.
May I ask why you are loitering about here?
See here, Mr. Bunter. Let me bide here for a bit. If Aggie Twitterton wants to catch sight of me, you get me. She's a bit,
Well, you can't stay here long. I'm expecting his lordship back very soon.
I put the plates on like you said, Mr. Bunter, and I found the other vegetable dish, only it's cracked.
Very good. There don't seem to be any decanters.
Never you mind, Pat. We'll soon have the bottles clean.
What bottles? What have you got there?
Why, one of them dirty old bottles that you brought along with you. Such a state they're in. All over, whitewashed.
My God!
You could have put a thing like that on the table.
Woman! That's the Cockburn 96!
Oh, it is? Well, you see, I thought it was something to drink.
You have not yet just handled any of the other bottles.
Only to unpack them and set them right side up. Them cases will come in good handy for kindling.
God's truth! Will you believe it? All his lordship's vintage port! You lousy old Dudley Parkering witch! You ignorant interfering old Bism! Who told you to go poking your long nose into my pantry?
Really, Mr. Bunter?
Up out of it here before I take the skin off you!
Oh, I'm sure. How was I to know?
Get out!
See your manners!
put your flat foot into it that time, Ma.
People can do their own dirty work after this.
Oh, report. Oh, report. 2.5 dozen, all shut up to blaze. And his lordship driving it down in the back of the car, as tender and careful as a baby in arms.
That's a miracle, judging by the way he went through Pegford this morning. Nearly flattened me.
Not a drop fit to drink for a fortnight. And his lordship looking forward to his class after dinner.
Well, he's unlucky.
There's a fire upon the town!
Here, Miss Twitterton!
I've just brought her home. I suppose there are. This isn't troubling you too much. Mr. Bunter, would you be so kind as to tell Lady Peter that I brought her to my own house?
Certainly, Miss Tristan. I'm sure her ladyship will appreciate the attention very much.
The Belfort say they're such pretty brown eggs, don't they?
Yes, they do. Would you care to wait?
Oh, I hardly know.
I'm expecting them back very shortly from the vicarage.
Oh, Frank, don't go.
Well, Miss Tristan, you may not think it, but I have just been very much put about. Miss Ruddle has recently agitated all of his lordship's vintage port, just as it was selling down nicely after the journey.
Oh, is it all spoiled? I believe they have some very good foot fun at the Pin and Whistle, although it's rather expensive. 4 and 6 a bottle.
I fear that would scarcely meet the case.
What does all that cost?
204 shillings the dozen.
The dozen what?
Bottle.
Right. Yes, a man could give away 40 quid out of his pocket and never miss it for that kind of money. But does he? No. You lent it to Uncle? But I never thought to ask Uncle for a fee. Really. Of all the blasted fools, nothing on paper. See, if there ain't no money, it's off. The business and me. See, a man in life wants a wife, something he can come home to. Skinny up, hen! Oh, Frank, how can you be so cruel? I'm not for you. Got me into a blasted mess and made me look like a fool. Oh, Frank! Damn you! Get up and take your blasted claws out of my neck. Shut up, I'm sick and tired inside of you.
Kings of luckless ladies, for lack of love who die.
Hell's bells, they're coming in, get up!
For me, my turtle sings, not for lovely love have I.
You better clear out sharp, I'm off.
In my lady's bosom, sweet it is to lie. In my lady's bosom, sweet it is to lie. Ah, Crutchley, you can put the car away.
Anything further tonight?
No, Crutchley, good night.
Good night, Crutchley. Good night, my lord. Good night, my lady.
Back again.
Having that argument kind of encourage.
Wonderfully inspiring thing doing one's duty. Makes me feel quite lightheaded, like champagne. Do you feel the same?
Oh, yes. Slightly intoxicating, but nice. Couldn't possibly be the vicar's sherry.
No, not at all. Almost feels like being in love, but it couldn't be that, do you think?
Oh, no, surely not.
Of course not. You can't be married and in love with the same person. That just isn't done.
Absolutely impossible.
Pity. I'm feeling rather tender and twining. A very young pea. Positively romantic.
Romantic, darling.
Yes. I want the violins to strike up and discourse soft music while the twilight merchant turns up the moon. And why not soft music? Let's see what the BBC can do for us. Now my myrtle-crowned matching civvy-eyed maidens strike together.
Oh, where did I put this?
Odd noise for radio to be making must be broken. There it is. Come on, strike together. Well, that's quite enough of that.
The man has a dirty mind.
Simply disgusting. I shall write a stiff letter to Sir John Reith. Isn't it just a pity when a man's bubbling over with the purest and most sacred of emotions, when he feels like Julius Caesar and Sir Galahad and Clark Gable all rolled into one, when he, so to speak, bestrides the clouds and sits upon the bosom of the air?
Darling, are you sure it's not the sherry?
Of course not. Lady, by yonder blessed moon Hello, put the moon in the wrong place.
Very careless of the limelight merchant.
Drunk again.
I told you it was a sherry.
Curse this moon and tease. Oh, more than moon, draw not up thy sphere to drown me in it. There we are. That's better. Now, lady, by yonder blessed moon I swear, which doth drape the fruit tree tops in its silver glow. Observe the fruit trees, specially imported by the man at colossal expense. On my right, the apple of Eden. On my left, the apple of Hesperides.
And beside you, the apple of discord.
Well, it's prickly enough. Here we go round the prickly pear, the prickly pear, the prickly pear. Here we go round the prickly pear on honeymoon days in the evening.
Peter, you are a lunatic!
I must talk nonsense. If I should talk sense, I should make such a bloody fool out of myself. Think of it, laugh at it. A well-off, well-groomed, well-fed Englishman of 40-odd, boiled shirt and dashed silly eyeglass, going down on his knees like a damned actor, saying to his wife, to his own wife, that's the funny part of it, saying, oh, how can I find words? Poets have taken them all and left me with nothing to say or do.
Except to teach me for the first time what they meant.
Have I done that?
Bunter. All my life I have been wandering and groping in the dark, but now have found your heart. Your heart. Satisfied.
And not you all the words coming to the end but that. I love you. I am at rest with you. I have come home. Damn blast!
Who is it? What are you doing there? Miss Twitterton?
I knew I should make such a bloody fool of myself.
Oh, come here. What is the matter? Oh.
See about decanting the port.
The port? Oh dear, nothing. Again.
What has happened?
Bunter? I'm going to have a shot at decanting the port.
Miss Ruddle is something fresh full of port wine.
I regret, my lord. There has been an unfortunate accident.
Heavens, what can the woman have done?
I believe she's shaken the bottle.
Oh, all my pretty chickens in bed. Damn.
Oh, I hope you wouldn't be violent.
Oh, violent? I should think so.
All right, Bunter. All I can say is, don't let it happen again. You better go and view the bodies.
There, now, that wasn't so bad, was it? Oh, Miss Twitterton, what is the matter? You're trembling all over. Come sit down by the fire, your hands are on ice.
Oh, Frank, this is such horrible things to me.
Frank Crutchley?
Yes, he caught me on the hand.
Oh, no.
And we were going to the yard. I'm pulling for my little savings and up those 40 pounds, but I can't control the money.
I am so sorry.
Oh,
She sings of luckless ladies, for lack of love would die.
nobody knows what I come for Frank.
She sings of luckless ladies, for lack of love would die.
That bad, can it?
Oh, it's such horrible things.
Oh.
I've done the Tower of London, and up the Thames River I, in my days bosom, sweet it is to lie.
Oh, listen, my dear. Don't cry so terribly. He isn't worth it. Honestly, he can't be. There isn't a man in 10 million that's worth breaking your heart over. Try to forget about him.
Oh, I'll try. I must be going now. I'm afraid I look a sight.
No, just a touch of powder. That's all you want. Oh, poor Bunter in the port. It's been a blow to him. There you are. You look quite all right. Nobody would notice a thing.
I've never had powder on like this before. Actually, quite fast.
It's helpful sometimes.
Are you sure nobody will think?
No, nobody will notice a thing. Now, please don't make yourself miserable about anything.
Okay, well, I'll try not to. Everybody's been so kind to me. I hope I haven't kept you from your supper.
It's not too late. Now, please don't worry about it anymore. Oh, Bunter, please show Miss Twitterton out. Poor little soul.
Coast clear.
Yes, she's gone.
I'm sorry, Harriet. What was I saying?
It's all right, darling. You were only quoting Dawn.
Was I? Fancy I did a little bit of my own. Ah, well. I love you, and I don't care who knows it.
Bless you.
This house, though, is looking a bit jumpy. Skeletons in the chimney, corpses in the cellar, elderly females hiding behind doors. I shall check under my bed tonight.
Is this the port after all?
No, it's the claret. Poor Bunter's nerves are all put about as well. And now he thinks I'm not giving my mind to this infuriating case.
But what can you do? There don't seem to be any clues.
Yes. And any that did exist were cleaned up by Bunter and with a little help from Ruddle. Remorse is eating into his soul like a caterpillar in cabbage. Now all I've done is put suspicion on old wretched young Sellon.
Do you think she did it?
You know, that's the thing about this case. It's not like one of those exasperatingly simple ones where the great financier was stabbed in his office.
I know, and thousands of people stampede in and out of the French windows all night, armed with motives and sharp instruments.
And the corpse turns out to be his brother, recently returned from Fiji, dressed up to be like him. I mean, that type of thing is comparatively easy. But here's a dead man in a locked house, with a perfect suspect with motive, means, and opportunity, and all the evidence pat. Trifling exception of proof.
Sellon doesn't look like a murderer.
I'd have thought he was honest. Well, why did he have to go and tell me a dashed idiotic lie?
The menu, my lord.
Ah, very good, Bunter. Let's see. Caviar. I don't like this West End touch, Bunter. It's out of keeping with all of this.
I adore caviar.
Then, my dear, you shall have it. Roast duck and green peas.
Local produce, my lord.
That's better. Bunter roasts a very pretty duck. Mushrooms on toast.
From the field behind the cottage.
From the... My God, Bunter, you're sure they're all right?
I have nothing poisonous, my lord. I've consumed a number of them myself to make sure.
I call that simply heroic.
Devoted valet risks life for master. Very well. Oh, Bunter, by the way, was it you playing hide and seek on our stairs with Miss Twitterton?
My lord.
That's all right, Bunter.
A very good man.
She was hiding from us because she was very much upset. Crutchley's been behaving like a perfect beast to her.
Has he, by Jove?
He's been in love with the poor little soul. Peter, it isn't funny.
You're right there. It isn't funny. Funny at all. Was she fond of the biter?
My dear, pathetically. And they were going to be married and start the new garage. But for the £40 of her little savings, only now he finds she won't come into any money from her. Peter, why are you looking at me like that?
Harriet, I don't like this at all.
Of course, he's chucked her over now, brute.
Yes, but she would have given him the money. Done anything in the world for him.
Well, she said nobody had known what she had done for... Oh, Peter, you can't mean that. It couldn't be the little Twitterton.
Why not?
It's a motive. I see it's a motive, a big motive. But you didn't want to hear about motive.
You're cracking my eardrums with it.
All right, but how could she have done it?
How is child's play? She had no alibi after 7:30. And keys to the house. Killing hens is no alibi for killing a man.
To smash a man's head in with a blow like that? She's tiny and he was a big man.
Yes, but she was his niece. She could have snuck up on him. I can't see Mr. Noakes sitting down letting old Noakes or letting Crutchley or Sellon sneak about behind him, but someone he knew and loved. Look, I'm sitting down at the desk writing. You take the poker. 2 quick steps now. You needn't hit hard. And you're an exceedingly wealthy widow.
Yes, I see. Suppose I've only to hit you with this bizarre instrument, walk out, and lock the door with my own key. Suppose you've seen that all along.
Yes. Our hound's been easiest to decipher. Now we've strengthened the why. It's a whacking great motive. A middle-aged woman's last bid for love, and the money to make it.
Well, could she have let in Crutchley? It's his motive, too.
His alibi after 6:30 simply can't be shaken. Of course, he did it before. But how did he make Mr. Noakes walk and talk? Oh dear. What is this?
One of those odd little things he keeps about, I must suppose.
Silly old Noakes. With Crutchley, he can't have done it before. I mean, how could he have made Noakes walk and talk 3 hours after he was dead? It's not like it was anything silly with a gramophone or anything. He was seen by Ruddle and Sellon.
Sellon! Her motive is as good as any other. If she's innocent, why did she tell you a lie?
Why? I don't know why. We want to know is how. This house would tell me if walls and ceilings could speak. All men are liars. Send me a dumb witness who cannot lie.
The house? Oh, Peter, we've silenced the house ourselves. All the evidence is destroyed. We are helpless.
That's what's biting me.
It's such a beastly little cry.
That's just it. Leave it alone. Well, Kirk will only plump after who's most probable. When he hears about Crutchley and Twitterton.
Oh, no, you can't go tell Mr. Kirk. It would be cruel. It would be horrible.
He's got to know. Oh, God's sake.
It's brutal.
Murder is brutal. You didn't see Mr. Noakes lying down there.
Oh.
It's easy enough to forget the dead.
Peter, it's the living.
I'm thinking of the living. Until we find the truth, every innocent man and woman in this village is suspect.
But Peter, must it be your hands?
Harriet, giving you the right task in that.
Oh, yes, I suppose you are bound.
Bound. We are bound together. Time has come when something must give way. You, I, or the bond.
Oh, no.
It must. It is time we face it.
Peter, what has become of us? What has happened to our peace?
Broken. That's what violence does. Sooner and later it catches up with all of us. There is no escape. Except perhaps by running away. No, Harriet, maybe we should run away. If I finish this damnable business, someone is going to hang.
Oh.
I have no right to drag you through this. If you say the word, we'll go right away, and we'll never meddle again.
Do you really mean that?
Of course I mean it. I've said it.
Peter, never dare to suggest such a thing. Whatever marriage is, it isn't that.
Isn't what, Harriet?
Letting your affection corrupt your judgment. What kind of life could we have had if I knew that you would become any less than yourself by marrying me?
Most women would consider it a triumph.
I know. I've heard them. My husband would do anything for me. It's degrading. No human being ought to have such power over another.
It's a very real power, Harriet.
Then we won't use it. If we disagree, we'll fight it out like gentlemen. But we won't stand for matrimonial blackmail.
Harriet, you have no sense for dramatic values. You have to say that we are to play out our romantic comedy without a locked door and great bedroom scene?
Certainly. We will have nothing so vulgar.
Well, thank God for that.
You must follow your judgment, whatever I may think, and it shan't make any difference.
Harriet, that is love with honor.
As a matter of fact, you were right, and I was wrong. Your job is to set your face against violence, to see that no innocent person suffers. Whatever happens, that is a thing worth doing.
Provided one can do it.
Dinner is served, my lord.
Perhaps caviar and roast duck shall brighten my wits. Worst comes to worst, there's always dinner.
There's a man at the door with a truck, my lord. He has come to remove the furniture. It appears there is a bill of sale upon the house.
But the owner's dead.
I understand the bill fell due before the decease of Mr. Noakes, and that the furniture would have been removed the week before, but for the forbearance of the creditors.
Right, I'll go and settle with the fellow.
No, Peter, let it go. It has Noakes' horrible personality stamped all over it. I hate it.
Harriet, you're right. I'll tell them to carry on.
Immediately, my lord?
Yes, no, first thing tomorrow morning. Wait a moment. We can't let all the clues be swept away. What about the police?
Superintendent Kirk has been speaking to the truck driver and is waiting to speak to your lordship.
Very well, I'll be out in a moment.
You don't suppose I should tell him about Miss Twitterton, do you?
Every innocent man and woman is suspect till we find the truth.
Yes, I suppose you're right. Mr. Kirk! will be bringing in a few friends after the funeral. In fact, here they are now.
Right you are, lady. Can I get in through the stairs?
Yes, certainly. We shan't be wanting this room very long.
Okay, lady.
Oh, and leave these things for the present, Crutchley. Very good, lady. Well, here you all are. Come and sit down while you still can. Were there many people at the funeral?
Quite a large attendance, really a remarkable attendance.
16 rings, including your beautiful tribute, Lady Peter.
Just fancy.
Fully cold, such touching hymns, dear Mr. Goodacre.
And the Reverend's words, if I may say so, sir, went straight to the heart.
Such touching tributes to Uncle.
It was such a lovely funeral, and I've been to every burying in Hagleham these past 40 years.
Well, I suppose Peter must have come with you. Did we send a wreath?
God knows.
Bunter, did we send a wreath?
Yes, my lord. Hothouse lilies and white hyacinths.
Most chaste and appropriate. Well then, suppose we must have some drinks, Bunter?
Yes, my lord.
Hope they've left us a few glasses.
I think so, but they've commandeered the beer barrel.
That's awkward.
Well, Mr. Puffett, I think we shall go get some beer for ourselves then.
Don't hurry, or the thing we're thirsty.
Bunter? Oh, maybe I'll deal with this. I'm afraid that Ruddle and Puffett have run off after beer. I hope that we have some in the house. You must send over to the pub quickly before they discover that there is none available.
The beer's provided for, my lord.
Oh, thank God. Right. Very, Miss Tristan?
Last time we popped a couple of Peter sharing.
There you are.
Dear
Goodacre.
me.
You want?
Yes.
Yes, I must say, it's most common.
Yes, the show is very remarkable.
We shall have to ask Bunter for some more. We've run out of well, we shouldn't need some more today, so, anyways, Padre, I've, wondered about that, the plant, you know, the one with the pet name.
Oh, yes.
I assume you're taking it, is it?
Yes, I'm taking it away. The man made no objection to it.
For consideration, I imagine.
Oh, it's a very small sum. The cactus is well worth it. Crutchley is a very well-knowledged man with cacti.
Well, I'm glad to hear that Frank feels some of his own.
Well, Padre, rather you than me. I can't say it's ever been my idea of a companionable sort of plant.
Perhaps not, but you shall know it's a very handsome specimen.
Oh, Uncle Tony always took great pride in that cactus.
Excuse me, my lady. Furniture removers have asked me to inquire what is to be done with the various trunks and articles labeled Twitterton in the small room at the top of the stairs.
Oh, the box room. Yes, my little cottage is so small, and Uncle let me store some of dear Mama's things now. I better go take a look.
Of course, please do.
I shall be going in a moment, but do say goodbye.
Oh, thank you, dear Mr. Goodacre.
No, you know, I know things have been very hard on you, but I must ask you to be most sensible and play from me as Sunday as usual. We've all come to rely on you.
Oh, I'd love to.
Gratified very much.
Thank you, Mr. Goodacre.
Poor little soul, this murder hanging over her head.
Yes, not too good.
Now, do you see this? This is very strange. Look, do you see?
I don't have my monocle with me, but ordinarily I would say it's a spot of mildew, but with all I know about cactuses, it might be the bloom of a healthy complexion.
It is mildew. Somebody has been giving it too much water.
None of us have touched it, Mr. Goodacre.
I don't like the brute, but I'm inhumane.
Yes, once a summer. It is, once the summer is over. You must water very sparingly indeed.
Well, it couldn't have been the knowledgeable Crutchley.
Well, somebody, no doubt, must have made a mistake.
A mistake. Criminals always make a mistake.
I do hope it isn't spoilt.
Harriet, you remember Crutchley telling us that last week he watered that object
Yes.
before he got his wages from Mr. Noakes.
Yes.
And then we saw him watering it again.
Why, we all saw it.
That was on Wednesday, wasn't it?
Yes, but my dear Lady Peter, he couldn't have done that. The cactus is a desert plant. It only needs watering about once a month in the cooler weather. Ah, I see, but you put on a longer chain.
A longer chain?
What's that?
If it will not inconvenience you, my lord, we can remove the sideboard.
Oh, carry on. Give you a hand.
Yes, I suppose the old one was quite unsafe. You have a much better idea of it now. Much better.
Easy does it. Easy. That's done it.
What's all this about a new chain?
Oh, I imagine the old one was quite unsafe. Oh yeah. I'll pause it. Must have been brass.
Bunter! Can't I be dusty if I like?
Oh, I'm afraid I'd give you a good man many hours of distress if I were his employer. My wife has always complimented my untidiness.
You clever, I said, Bunter. Mr. Goodacre likes to be brushed, you can brush him, not me.
Well, really, I'm quite sure I needed being validated. It's quite a new experience for me.
Is this about a new chain?
Yes, this chain, the old one matched it. Pot, brass.
Brass. A brass chain.
Peter!
The drink pipe, my lord.
If you don't mind, Governor.
Yes, carry on. No, leave this. Do the upstairs first. We must have something to sit on.
Right you are, Governor, but the jar must be done today.
It will be.
The chain that came down the chimney.
Yes. Someone must have taken down the old one. Shoved this one up the chimney. But why?
Let me look at this. This looks very much like the old original chain.
I want you to watch me and see if I go wrong anywhere. Now on Wednesday morning, Crutchley watered this thing, which he watered the week before, and which only needs watering once a month.
In the cooler weather.
Thank you, Padre. Then he took down the steps, come over here, picked up the watering can, came over here, watered the plants, came back, can you remember what he did next?
I believe, Peter, he did. He moved the radio cabinet, as it is now, under the pot. I was sitting right here on the settle and was very nearby. That's why I noticed.
This is all very mysterious.
I thought so.
I'm afraid I'm being quite stupid.
Yes, like this, London calling. Yes, by God, it's possible. Bunter, take the steps and measure the two chains.
Yes, my lord.
So, Mr. Noakes, he was about your height, wasn't he?
An inch or so. A bit taller than me.
Yes. Well, Bunter.
What I see here that you have those cactus too, Mr.
Yes, Bunter is just seeing to it. Mr. Litton, I was wondering if you might be able to do a favor for me.
Well, yes, of course.
I'm afraid I've lost my fountain pen. I'm afraid I put it upstairs and one of the furniture movers might put his foot on it.
Oh, yes, of course. I'll look for it right away.
You sure you don't mind?
Yes, I like looking for things.
Peter.
Yes, she mustn't be allowed to leave the house or meet with Crutchley. Well, Bunter?
A good point of difference, my lord.
Very good. Harriet, I want you to get the key. It's off in the kitchen table there, and lock the back door.
Yes.
Make sure nobody hears you or sees you. If you see anybody go up by the front, we shall see it. Now, where to put this? By Jove! The place where the other chap put it. Goodacre, if you wouldn't mind watching the window.
Of course.
There's a nice legend there. It's a perfect spot. Now, Miss Bunter, I want you to take a look up there at the ceiling. See if you can find anything in the way of a hook or a pulley. Somewhere up in the beam. Straight line from the settle. A little more that way. See anything?
Yes, my lord. There's a large cup hook in this beam.
A hook? Yes, I thought so. Bunter, do you remember seeing a piece of string or twine off the floor Wednesday morning?
No, my lord.
String. Puffett! By Jove, of course. Miss Bunter, get Mr. Puffett in here, quickly.
Yes, my lord.
Here's the key. They're all busy packing up the scullery things. I don't think anyone heard me.
Good. The most marvelous thing, Harriet. There was a little ledge just in the middle of the chimney there. The chain was right on it. It must have been there on Wednesday morning. If it hadn't been for Puffett.
You want me, my lord?
Mr. Puffett, I wanted to ask you if you had found a bit of string or twine Wednesday morning.
String? Imagine if I see a bit of string, I pick it up and put it away, same as the rest of us.
Not one of your pot strings. It'd probably be slightly longer, I should think.
No string, but I did find a good long bit of black fishing line.
Fishing line? Of course it's a fishing line. You have it there?
Surely, that what you want?
Yes. It's a roll of 20-pound salmon. And sinkers on both ends.
That's right. That's why I take my eye for digging on it, noticing it at the time.
Right. Bunter, both ends over the hook.
Good heavens, Peter, I think I see.
Right. Now haul pot up. Don't worry, it won't slip out. It's a dead tight fit.
Pray be careful, my man. If that thing were to fall, it might easily kill somebody.
What I was thinking.
Must weigh getting on for 100 weight.
Been loaded at something with bottom with lead or something.
And that's how such a little woman could have done it.
Or someone who wasn't there at the time.
The man with the cast iron alibi.
What's the matter?
My lord, I wasn't telling you no lie. You can see the glass from the window. Look!
Clear as day. 12:30. Right. Sellon, take this key. Door on the back. Come in quietly. You may have to make an arrest.
That's an awkward-looking arrangement of yours. You dead sure it won't come down?
Not unless somebody opens the radio for the 12:30 gramophone orgy. Parker, don't touch that lid.
That light hole? It's so fine, it's practically invisible against the paneling.
That's the idea of fishing line. Don't worry. It won't come out. This knife, just don't touch that radio cabinet nor the lid.
You saw that clock for yourself, my lord.
Yes, and I think this little reconstruction explains much.
Reconstruction, my lord?
You were looking for a blunt instrument that killed Mr. Noakes. There it is.
Any traces of blood or hair on it, my lord?
No, it was white. When? How?
Why not till last Wednesday, the day before yesterday, under our very eyes while we all sat around and said nothing. That's how, Peter, that's how!
Yes, and now we know how. We know who.
You mean when Frank Crutchley wanted the captains to wet the pot? Oh, that's a dreadful conclusion to come to. Frank Crutchley, one of my own choirmen.
Would any jury believe that for a matter of 40 pounds?
And Miss Twitterton, the heiress.
The heiress?
She meant to marry him.
It's true.
Can we get it together? Oh, Lord Peter, however did Uncle's captures get up there?
Mr. Goodacre, do you mind?
Oh, of course.
No, I don't think they are in it together.
Why, what's this all about? How do you exactly suggest he worked it, my lord?
That trap was set there when somebody left on 6:20 Wednesday evening.
Oh, it ought to have been up in that hook, only it's so high.
Bunter, I hope your arms are rested. But if that trap was set, minus this manservant, the way it is, at 6:20 when someone left Wednesday evening.
But that was when Fred Crutchley left.
Oh, the end would have been slipped under here. You could. Oh.
And when Mr. Noakes came in as usual, turn on the radio at 9:30.
What can anybody walk right up to it without noticing that the cactus was up there?
It was dark. There were only 2 candles.
Even in broad daylight, you could do it automatically.
Right. I'll get it and mark it up.
Crutchley, what are you doing here?
Feel the radio, my lord.
Don't touch that lid!
You damned cunning devil! How did you know? I'll have the life out of you! How did you know? So you set a trap for me, did you? Well, I killed him. The old brute. The old cheat. He took my 40 pounds. Cheated me to the last. Oh!
Actually, I arrest you!
It's almost shocking.
Unhappy young man.
Now that's funny, that is. I found a piece of string just like this one Wednesday morning. I took it down myself.
Peter.
Forgive me. Business always gets me down. Don't leave me.
You shan't be left.
Never again.
I feel that the evil spirit has been cast out of this house and left it clean for you and me.
For you